What is a not fun fact? Sloths only have enough energy for their weekly toilet trip to the jungle floor. If the baby falls from their underside in the trees onto the floor, they choose to preserve their energy and leave it to be eaten. In Australia there is a plant called the gympie which has such a severe sting that horses who brush against it throw themselves off cliffs because they'd rather die than continue to experience the pain. If a hamster gets too stressed, it will eat its kids. There is a genetic disease called FOP where your muscles and tissue turn to bone. Often called human statue disease. Eventually people may have to decide whether they want to become frozen in a sitting or flat/standing position. The number one cause of death among pregnant women is murder. Horses can't throw up, so if they eat something bad or get a bad gas bubble, they just lay down and die. Urine was used for teeth whitening and bleaching of clothes in ancient Rome. Yes, they rinsed their mouth with human and animal urine. Cute, fuzzy little sea otters are known to rape baby seals to death. People with extreme scurvy start to have all of their old wounds open up. Everything with a scar is held together via an active process with collagen, and without vitamin C just sort of stop. The threat of a deadly bird flu spreading to humans is always there. It takes just a little bit of negligence in screening chickens for this to happen. It was once thought for birds, parrots, magpies, to learn to talk, you had to release their tongue. This was done by cutting their tongue completely or partly off course without any anesthesia or painkillers. The tongue release plays absolutely no role in the bird's ability to talk. A man once had a tapeworm get cancer. That cancer metastasized, and the man died from tumors of tapeworm throughout his entire body. There are 8 unaccounted for American nukes and literally an unknown quantity of missing Soviet nukes that range all the way from warheads to suitcase bombs. There's a government-led genocide going on in northern Ethiopia right now. The reason you're supposed to contact a doctor if you have an erection lasting longer than 4 hours is because prolonged priapism can lead to gangrene of the dick. Blood goes in, deoxygenates, but can't leave, so there's no way for fresh oxygenated blood to come in, causing the tissue to turn black and die. Don't worry, though. This can be treated by using a big syringe to suck the trapped blood out. Despite being the largest mammal, blue whales do not have large assholes. They defecate with an anus the size of a grapefruit. The little girl who voiced Ducky in the first Land Before Time was murdered by her father before the movie came out. Her gravestone says yep yep yep. Most power outages in the US are caused by squirrels. Male dolphins like to hunt fertile female in groups and hound them because they are unwilling. The females are often injured during this, some even die. Certain sleep disorders that cause you to act out your dreams are strong predictors that you're developing a neurodegenerative disorder like Parkinson's or Lewy body dementia. I wish I didn't recently learn about it. Not me, a loved one. You can have an aneurysm and die at any moment. A blue-ringed octopus, found in the Pacific, is a tiny and cute little guy, but one painless bite gives enough venom to kill 25 male adults. The reason dogs love squeaky toys is because they sound like small animals dying. Bedbugs procreate by traumatic insemination. Males literally stab females with their genitals. So, just another reason to hate them then. There are more deaths due to mental health issues than all forms of violence combined. People are struggling. Rabies is terrifying. You can get it and not even know it from bats, which live across the globe. It might hit you right away, it might be in 3 years, but it doesn't matter because once symptoms set in, you're already dead. If 2 male flatworms meet, they will sword fight with their dicks until one loses. The loser will become female and they will mate. Migraines and strokes carry a lot of the same symptoms, so if you suffer regular migraines you may not notice you're actually dying one day. Greifswald Nuclear Power Plant, 1976, the almost Chernobyl of East Germany. In short, due to a short circuit resulting in a fire, almost all coolant pumps failed. The NY Times says, Chernobyl-scale nuclear disaster was prevented only when a single water pump in the emergency cooling system was able to draw off pressurized water heated to high temperature by the decay heat left in the reactor's core, thus preventing a meltdown. This incident became public with reunification in 1989. Spider, rain, you read that right, is a real and naturally occurring phenomenon. Quokkas, the world's happiest animal, will throw their babies at attackers if threatened. During World War I, thousands of dogs were taken from families for the war effort, and when the war was over most of them were just shot because it was cheaper than feeding them for the trip home and finding their homes. Valentine's Day is a holiday with one of the highest suicide rates. Some of us will die in a few hours. Climbing Mount Everest has a 6.5% mortality rate. What's more harrowing is that if you die, you will most likely be left there. There's currently over 200 dead bodies on Everest that are irretrievable, and now serve as markers for other climbers. Not a bad place to eternally rest, but upsetting for those left behind who can't give you a proper burial. In countries that require you to opt into organ donation, fewer than 15% of people register. In the US, an opt-in country, 18 people die every day waiting for an organ transplant. Opt-out countries see over 90% of their population registered for organ donation. You can smell your own lungs. Your brain just filters out the smell. Hitler admired America for the way we treated the Native Americans during the Trail of Tears. The search and rescue dogs on September 11th were getting so sad from finding only dead bodies, the human helpers buried themselves in the rubble so that the dogs could find them and be happy. Sudden doomsday scenarios. Gamma ray bursts, for example, aimed at Earth, even if occurring hundreds of millions of light-years away, could lead to the extinction of life on Earth's ://n. Wikipedia org/wiki/gamma ray /_burst #rate /_of /_occurrence /_ and /_potential /_effects /_on /_life. Some perfumes, or more specifically, musks used, come from the anal and secretion glands of musk deers and civet cats. The lemmings are not suicidal, and the documentary What Filmed It was actually showing lemmings getting thrown down a cliff because they needed the scene but couldn't make the animals do it. Dolphins who are sexually frustrated can rape/gang rape humans. Air-breathing mammals like whales and dolphins might beach themselves because they got old, and it's better to die in the sunset than to drown at sea. Armadillos can carry leprosy and can pass to humans just by being in proximity. Kind of fits the mood of 2020 to 2021, one could argue. People who commit suicide by jumping off a bridge, those who don't die from the impact, drown because the impact breaks enough bones that prevents them from swimming. Scientists are saying, more and more with each study, that COVID is here to stay. It's endemic like the flu. COVID will mutate and we'll have new versions every single year for the rest of humanity, likely. It's entirely possible that you care about more people than people care about you. The youngest person to ever give birth to a baby was a 5-year-old little girl. When you get a sunburn, it's actually your cells dying so they don't get tumorous. There are Demodex mites crawling on your eyelashes right now, and there's nothing you can do about it. There exist in the world, at this moment, more juggalos than polar bears. Every day several hundred babies are born in withdrawal. Drinking urine used to be a popular activity in ancient times. There is more slavery in the world right now than at any time in history. If you eat a polar bear liver, you will die. Humans can't handle that much vitamin A. In 2017, 10,000 people died awaiting their disability decision. YTF did I read these comments? Every 41 seconds in the USA somebody kills themselves. Himalayan blackberries can allegedly grow under your skin. According to the World Bank Group, the world produces about 2 billion tons of garbage every year. To make it into the richest 1% globally, all you need is an income of around $34,000. First responders are always at least minutes away, and you can die in seconds. We operate fast-moving death machines and are often separated from other operating them by nothing more than an agreement not to cross a yellow line that someone else painted. The glaciers of the Antarctica shelves have melted, and continue to melt, at so fast a rate that even if we enacted radical and worldwide climate change laws today, it's going to take hundreds of years to recover them to their pre-industrial levels. We are currently 40 weeks into our 2-week lockdown. An 18-year-old can legally adopt a 17-year-old. The most common way for sloths to die is by mistaking their own arm for a tree branch, and falling to their death that way. In the United States, roughly 1/3 of all food is thrown away each year. A lot of the time the animal you eat had shit inside it when it was killed. Toddlers kill more people with guns than terrorists in the US. Ruthless babies. When two people kiss, they effectively make a 60-foot hose that starts at an anus and ends at an anus. Happy kissing. A Japanese man was wounded by Hiroshima atomic bomb while on business trip. He then returned to his job in Nagasaki where another nuclear bomb dropped. https://n. Wikipedia org/wiki/tsutoma /_Yamaguchi. The FDA allows a tiny amount of things like rat droppings or insect parts in certain foods. The FBI estimates there are between 25 to 50 active serial killers in the U.S. at any given time. The parasitic spores from The Last of Us exist for real. They are modeled after a real-world parasite that turns insects into literal zombies. After 51 years, Someone cracked the second code from the Zodiac serial killer and it doesn't reveal anything, just gibberish. If you are an identical twin, it is possible that you and your siblings' identities were swapped and your parents never caught it. Poetic justice, or what some call karma, isn't real and cruel things happen for no reason at all. The brain most likely came up with this concept as a protection mechanism to keep itself from going insane over random terrible events. There is a non-zero maximum threshold for the amount of cockroach that can be present in ground coffee because it is literally impossible to keep them out entirely. Raccoons can fit into a 6-inch hole, an asshole can stretch up to 8 inches. Theoretically, you can fit a raccoon up your ass. There are many people in positions of authority who are sex offenders and pedos. Only dumb serial killers are under investigation. We will never know about the smart ones. Eating undercooked pork can have worse results than just food poisoning. Undercooked pork can contain parasites that burrow into your brain and lay eggs. Side effects includes many different neurological symptoms, like seizures, dizziness, etc. If untreated for long enough, can lead to death. Our heart is a muscle the size of the rat. Someday you will pick up your child, put them down and never pick them up again. You are significantly closer to being homeless than you are to being a millionaire. A certain type of anglerfish reproduce via the male burrowing into the side of the female, eventually fusing. The male life is lost in the process. Gmail scans every photo you send on the service. Illegal pornography was smuggled so frequently on the service that they had to implement a bot to detect it. They will report you to authorities. While I'm sure the average user isn't smuggling this shit, they probably don't want all their pictures being looked at either. Zombies are real, at least in the insect world. Quantum field energy levels could in theory glitch at any moment, causing vacuum decay, thus ending the universe.